Ladies and gentlemen, over half of the U.S. workforce said they are not going above and beyond on their jobs anymore. So, wow. I mean, I knew people were quiet quitting, but I didn't know it was in such astronomical numbers. Wow. So, I'm going to go ahead and play this article from the Wall Street Journal.
Quiet quitters make up half the U.S. workforce, Gallup says. Young professionals surveyed said they were the most disengaged, a big source of tension returning to offices. By Ray A. Smith. September 7, 2022, 10:44 a.m. Eastern Time. A word of warning to bosses. American workers are returning to offices after the summer break less happy than they've been in a long time. U.S. employee engagement, a measure of involvement in the workplace and enthusiasm about work, has dropped since 2021, coinciding with the rise in job resignations. The number of workers who say they are actively disengaged from their jobs, defined as workers who are unhappy about their work and resentful their needs aren't being met, is rising, according to new research by Gallup, which has tracked workers' investment in their jobs since 2000. Nearly one-third of workers describe themselves as engaged or enthused about work, while just under 20% describe themselves as actively disengaged, according to Gallup's June survey of 15,091 U.S. workers. The rest are not engaged people who do the minimum required and are psychologically detached from their jobs. The results are an about-face from the summer of 2020 when U.S. worker engagement levels calculated by Gallup hit their highest level ever, at 40%. People under 35 reported the sharpest drop in engagement. The data may help explain quiet quitting, where employees coast at work and draw a paycheck. Gallup said quiet quitters now make up half the U.S. workforce. What we're seeing right now is kind of a deterioration of the employee-employer relationship, said Jim Harder, chief scientist for Gallup's workplace management practice. Some of the estrangement may have been exacerbated by 2 years many workers spent out of the office in remote and hybrid work arrangements. Managers are calling employees back to the office in part to resolve this disconnect, yet those in-office requirements are among the biggest sources of tension between bosses and employees. In a survey of more than 32,000 workers around the world published in late April, ADP Research Institute, a division of the payroll processor ADP, found two-thirds, 64%, of respondents said they would consider looking for a new job if required to return to the office full-time. So unhappy was Sarah Millard, 31, of Richmond, Virginia, with her employer's insistence on in-person work 5 days a week that she quit in June to take a remote project manager job with a search engine technology company based in Syracuse, New York. After the birth of her first child in November 2020, flexibility became paramount, she said, so she could share child care responsibilities with her husband, who also works from home. She was happy when her old employer in August of 2021 started letting people work remotely once a week. But when the company called workers back to the office 5 days a week, she decided to take the leap. That's when I really started actively looking for another job, she said. Working remotely gives Ms. Millard a sense of autonomy, she said, and allows her to drop her daughter at preschool, which her previous employer's 9 a.m. start time prohibited. Susan Quinn, the chief executive of Circle S Studio, where Ms. Millard worked, said her company seeks to be flexible with workers. The company did ask employees to come back every day for a short time due to a big client commitment, but never intended to convey that its work from home Wednesday policy was discontinued permanently, she said. Quit rates fell by 35% when hybrid work options were rolled out to 1,612 engineers, marketing, and financial professionals in randomized controlled trials, according to recent research from Stanford University economist Nicholas Bloom. In survey after survey, workers repeatedly say they value the ability to work from home some of the time as equivalent to a 7% or 8% pay increase, he said. Both Gallup and ADP identify stress at work as a reason many workers feel disengaged. Nearly 7 in 10 workers surveyed, 67%, said they experience stress at work at least weekly, up from 62% pre-pandemic, according to ADP. 1 in 7 said they feel stressed at work every day. Key stressors include the length of the workday and concerns over job security. Gallup said workers who reported declines in engagement cited a lack of clarity about expectations from managers, not feeling connected to a company's mission or purpose, little to no recognition for hard work, and receiving little career development as key reasons for their disengagement. Morgan Sharonek, 24, worked full time at a department store in Pittsburgh for 2.5 years and wanted to climb the ladder with the company, but said she burned out in her retail manager job from working long hours amid staff shortages throughout the pandemic. Despite what seemed like an always on work schedule, she also increasingly felt her hard work wasn't recognized. When Ms. Sharonek asked for a role change, she said she was told to bloom where you are planted. A week later, she began looking on LinkedIn and soon found a new job as an operational specialist at a logistics company in Morgantown, West Virginia. She said she's much happier at work now and gets to use her vacation days, unlike her old job where she struggled to take off or would often get called in on days she had scheduled to take off. Before, with the crazy hours I was working, I felt like I didn't have enough time for myself, Ms. Sharonek said. Fear.
All right. So, as you can see, this is like a big thing where people are just not going above and beyond. They're not going to go that extra mile for employers anymore. And as you heard, they said the relationship between employees and employers have deteriorated across the country. And things have changed. I think the lockdown was the biggest game changer ever. And people's attitudes and everything towards work dramatically changed from that point on. And I'm not surprised. There's always been a big lack of respect between employers and employees in this country. It was going to boil up to the surface sooner or later, and it really has. I don't think there's no going back to normal. We know there is no normal. Okay, 2019 was the last bit of normal you're ever going to get in your lifetime. Moving ahead, it is going to be constant changes happening in America because we just got to get out of this dead situation that we're in because this is going nowhere. I mean, we're really walking in place for the last 500 years. We're not elevating or getting better or moving to a higher level. It's like I said, it's been stagnant up in here. For real. We're just the days and the dates and the time change, but it's really stagnant here. And it's I don't know. It's like we got to go at somebody else's pace in life and not our own. And that's what it's felt like all this time, at least for me. But y'all, I guess, I was hearing and seeing so much out here about quiet quitting, but I did not know quiet quitting was at such a big level. I mean, it's almost like somebody turned a light bulb on and everybody is at their job saying, no, I'm not going to do this extra work, not anymore. You're going to have to hire somebody or figure out what you're going to do, but I'm not doing that extra work. Wow. But tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.